What's good to my champs all around the world? It's a beautiful day. It's beautiful outside. Needless to say, every day's a beautiful day, right? If you want to be real. But needless to say, I just wanted to share some beautiful words with some beautiful people, right? I got a lot of young individuals, particularly young dudes, that, I've been in contact with and developed a relationship with. A big brother. I don't really like to say the unk vibes, but I'll go with big brother vibes. I ain't got no problem with that. Even unk, it don't even matter. Needless to say, a lot of my close constituents, if you will, a few of them are on their way to being a father for the first time, right? And this not only go for first-time fathers, but young fathers, period. Like those young fathers that haven't really experienced certain things yet and may not be in the sense of being self-aware and mindful of how things can and inevitably will change. And there's a process you got to embrace without feeling like you're compromising yourself, right? So I'm sending this message out to a few of them. And I told them I was going to do it just for the fact of I don't always have the luxury of a certain time for one-to-ones like I want to. I'm always trying to do something or doing something that, I'm a father first. So which gives me the inclination to share some information, right? Enjoy it. First off, enjoy it, yo. Don't take that for granted. Especially if y'all both like locked in a stage of which you guys have proven to each other, at least for this part, there's trust. There's some type of understanding. There's constant, consistent, effective communication. There's transparency. There's intimacy. There's respect. And more importantly, there's boundaries. If y'all already at that part, and I'll go into detail in another video, but I'm hoping those words can already capture some type of emotional feeling that you get exactly where I'm coming from, right? That's first thing. Second of all, I'm speaking particularly to the fellas, right? Be supportive. Be supportive, man. Be supportive. There's going to be days where you may want to tap out. There's going to be days where you may not be as motivated. And maybe days you may be stuck in a certain way of living because you've been used to being accustomed to a certain independency. Well, this is going to call for a different change. Needless to say, it's an inevitable transition to go from a single man to a father. That's a transition. The change is intentional and deliberate. With that said, there's going to be days, man, you got to stay in the crib. You got to help. There's going to be days where you may have to work extra hard, save more, spend less, and more importantly, listen. There's going to be days you got to just sit and listen, man, and not for nothing, not listen for your own sake, but more so listen to be coming from an ear that the action is going to be solution-based for that person. And that takes time. That takes a different type of intention, but you can do it. Not saying throw yourself away, but be in a space where you're able to give more than what you particularly would, just because this is a speaker to a situation that's going to be longevity, right? Which brings me to my next point. Don't stop doing what you've been doing for yourself. And I say that in hopes that it's a healthy outlet for yourself. May that be sports, something creative, an extra hobby, extra hustle, extra job. And that frame in which she needs you, be there for that. But other than that, don't be there too long, in the sense of, we all know, like, familiarity breeds disrespect or resentment or uncomfortability after a while. So you got to stay in a position where you keep yourself up. Even aside from that negative symptom, there's positives. It keeps you motivated. You guys get to have space from each other. You get to have time to recollect and plan and prioritize your life, rather than just being in a shackled position where it's like y'all playing house. Don't do that too early. You get what I'm saying? And even personally, I suggest, it ain't got nothing to do with a relationship or not loving somebody, but young brother, if you could get your own spot first, get your own spot first, man. And I know right now in this economy, that's kind of hard to fathom, especially if it's like, yo, I already got enough going on with the fact that me and my lady is about to have a baby. that's cool. But if not for nothing, try to have something in place where you can have a safe space. A safe space. And I mean like a real change of scenery or somewhere you can go for yourself without feeling like it's out of malice intention, but it's more so a place of recollection and peace, right? Next, not for nothing, always remember that you guys gonna see things differently. You guys are gonna see things differently. That's gonna come down to a whole bunch of real life, pull up your big boy drawers. She gotta pick up her big girl panties. You're gonna have real life hard conversations, because there's a thing called postpartum that women deal with. Not for nothing, men go through their own type of inevitable change to lifestyles. Those things got to be communicated. Those things got to be expressed, and not for nothing, they got to be embraced, and they got to be considered. And in the event that you feel like she's not getting where you coming from per se, if it's not coming from you in an effective way, speak to someone more so like your mom, if you got your mom, a sister, or a friend, or someone else that can help you not only have that reflective, constructive criticism, but a different way of learning how to deliver a certain message, right? We not always right, they not always right, but we got to find a medium to which it's understood, it's embraced, and not for nothing, it's loved, it's accepted, you know what I'm saying? And last but not least, because I could go on forever, but I'm going to just use these top ones. Last but not least, don't forget why y'all got together in the first place. Don't forget why y'all got together in the first place. If this was one of those one night stand things or whatever, or we wasn't playing for that, I get that. I get that. I understand that. And that's a different conversation to build on in regards to now prioritizing and making the right decisions, even in an event if a relationship is not conducive to what y'all signed up for. For those, though, who I'm speaking with, they've been with their person for a little while and everything was going good, and now here they are. Not only keep it going, but take it to the next level now. And that may come with some extra responsibilities, semi-obligations, but needless to say, as a man, those are things we live for. We take pride in those type of responsibilities or callings, if you will. So to my young brothers, man, just make sure that you still treat her right. You still make sure everything is in a space of where she feels valued, appreciated, and loved and cared for. And even with that, man, sometimes I'm not even gonna lie, and I don't want to spoil nothing, and I'm always end up on a good note, but I want to put a disclaimer out there. Sometimes, man, you may just have a baby with somebody, and it's beautiful bringing a new life into the world, right? But if you ever get to a point where you feel like you're losing yourself, you really like losing yourself, like you're not eating, you're not like dressing the way you want to, you're not being able to express yourself, you're not having fun, all in the name of sustaining your family. Sometimes, if that's prolonged, bro, you will grow to resent your family. And sometimes the best route is to do what's best. And sometimes what's best is to solve a problem, right? Equally, like across all boards. Subtraction is just as powerful and accepting as addition. You get what I'm saying? Meaning, and as much as it may hurt or pain, sometimes you may have to take yourself out of a circumstance for the best of your children. That don't mean you're not in their life. That don't mean you're not providing. That don't mean you're not spending quality time. But if the environment becomes too toxic and your children, especially if the young boys are seeing their father, you know what I'm saying, not really being the example that the father planned on being for his sons, that's not going to work. Even if it's with a daughter, if your daughter is seeing her father get like in so many ways demasculated, that's a whole nother conversation. But what I'm saying is, before you even get to that, have that conversation and be big men, big women about it, and do what's really best for the children and yourselves. Nobody deserves to not enjoy parenthood. Nobody does not deserve to enjoy relationships. However, in the time where we at now, where it's a shift in dynamics, I'm one of the ones to say, don't force it. Don't force it, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. At some point, you'll be able to explain it to your children, and they will, in so many ways, understand it, especially when they go through their own. So the best way to be prepared for that is to be honest with yourself, be honest with whom you're dealing with, and do the right things. Do the right things, man. And I'm going to just leave it at that. I hope I answered some questions that I wasn't able to answer in person with my young brothers. But just take it from me, man. Don't do anything that you can't wake up and be proud of. Don't do anything that's going to have you waking up or going to bed like, damn, why did I do that? Especially now that you got a different paradigm shift, which going to call for a different person. So sometimes there's going to be more lonely days, more lonely nights, no conversations with people, but you got to use that time to really dig deep and clean the residue. I gave this example, right? And I ain't going to do too much long. You ever had like like when you cook lasagna or something, everybody eat, you feel me? We got some leftovers. Now after a while, it start, sticking to the pan. Then once you get rid of it and you try to clean it, I thought that was a whole deer over there. It was some birds. I thought it was a deer. But needless to say, when you try to clean it, it's kind of hard. And when you force it, it may leave a stain. It may leave a mark. It may leave a scar. It may even break the damn dish, right? Sometimes you got to soak. Let it soak, right? Let it soak. Sit in it. And even though it may be some stains there still, but at some point when you soaked in it long enough and you're ready to move on and clean yourself off and dry yourself off, you'll be able to get all that residue off, clean all that residue off. And I say that to say with love, man, nobody does not deserve to enjoy life. And fellas, from my heart to your heart, if I ever get to that, and it may be a tough pill to swallow, be the reason. If y'all gonna be together, man, make sure you create an atmosphere where she is feeling fortunate to have you, right? But if you guys are not there and y'all break up, don't be the reason why she can't enjoy life. Just let it go, bruh. Just let it go. If it worth fighting for, trust me, not your heart or your mind, your soul will know. And I'll leave it at that, man. Stay positive, stay motivated, stay real. One.